Hello, you beautiful creatures. My name's Alexandra Zadek. I am your host for Talk About It Tuesday, where we talk about all things the arts and the people involved with them. I am here with the glorious, the talented, the effervescent Maria. I gotta find new words to use, you know?
I like it. It's awesome. Well,
Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming on here.
thank you for having me.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Maria Pusateri. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was born and raised there. I did most of my training as a pre-professional ballet dancer in Pittsburgh. And then I decided to come to Nova to pursue a bachelor's in arts and sciences. So I'm a biology major as well as a dance major.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a proud Razor's Edge Shark Talent Scholar. So
Heck
I
yeah.
represent the arts at Nova Southeastern University. And I'm practically an arts ambassador. So anytime anyone has any questions or anything, I always have to know what's going on in the loop and what's going on in the arts community, which has been such an awesome and influential program to be a part of. On my side time, I like to do a lot of yoga. I like to do photography. I laugh a lot. So I just kind of live life as it comes at me.
You're just an all-around Renaissance person, you know, you gotta...
I do as much as I can all the time, and I just try to maximize my time, especially throughout college. So I'm graduating here in May, and then I'm going off into an internship back in Pittsburgh over the summer, and she's already considering me as for positions in the company. So
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
great
amazing.
yeah, I spoke to my friends about it, and it's a position where I'll be dancing with the company, but also be working through the health clinic there. So I'll be like a dance nutritionist and kinesiology. So I get to use my biology degree, which
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to do because you have biology and dance, and then what do you do with it?
Combination.
Yeah, one of my friends was like, she did college right, and I was like, to be honest, I had no idea what I was doing this entire time. I just followed my passion, and there was people who needed me, and there was like-minded people, and so hopefully this job goes over well, and I can stay there for a while.
That's awesome. Yeah, you always wonder, I mean, how are you going to connect what you're interested in if you're interested in multiple things?
Yeah, I was like, do I just become like a dance therapist? And there's so many fields that you're not certain are going to work out, or you can't go to school for just one. You kind of it was just this position opened up, and it was just perfect timing, and this woman and I clicked really well. So it's going from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's moments when you just kind of click with someone that you're eventually going to work with, and it was just like magic, fairy dust meant to be kind of thing.
I hope so.
So where did it all start for you? Why even go into dance?
Well, when I was really young when I got into dance. Like, it wasn't a decision made by me, unless I was like a very conscious mind at 3 years old. But
as we all are.
Yeah, I was like super intelligent, So I remember my mom told me about how I was duck-footed, and that means like my foot was like turned in. I had this weird thing going on with my leg, and ballet turns your legs out. So she was like, we should start the girls, me and my sister, in like a little dance program. And we started at this little studio in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. And it's like this little town, and there's like this teeny tiny little studio. And it was like recitals, and it was adorable. I did tap, I did jazz, but I really latched on to ballet. So for some reason, I don't know why, because I ended up here. I don't know. I don't do that much ballet anymore, but I then moved to a pre-professional school, and I trained there. It was Pittsburgh Youth Ballet under the director, Jean Gideon, who was this fantastic woman. She liked to talk about her kidney stones all the time. She was
whatever teaching style works.
I know. It was great. And I had such amazing instructors throughout my time there. And I was there from when I was like 4 or 5 all the way until I graduated high school.
Nice.
So I became an alumni of Pittsburgh Youth Ballet, and throughout those years, we performed at, the Grand Prix, Youth American Grand Prix, and we competed like nationally with, and competition was not our thing. It was not a competition studio, but every once in a while, to get our name in the books, we would do this giant contemporary ballet competition, which is it's well known, and we would travel to New York if we got into nationals, and it was just an amazing experience. And that's kind of how I got my outlets of seeing the dance world, was going to these huge events. And then once I graduated, I was like, you know what, I either want to go into a professional dance company immediately, and I really wanted to go to Miami City Ballet because I had gone there over the summer. I went to different studios and different companies to do their summer intensive things, and it was like 6 weeks of like all day you're dancing. Like I never had a summer in my life, like until I broke my foot, and that's where I was going with this. I turned 18, and that was the last year that you could audition for most of the companies because they don't accept people over 18. And I had turned 18, and I had broken my foot on my final performance. Literally the day before my performance, I was lead in Stars and Stripes by Balanchine, which was a beautiful piece and an amazing opportunity for me to be selected for. And then my foot broke on stage. Yeah, it was pretty detrimental. I had a stress fracture going on, and one of my teachers was just pushing me. She was like, it's okay, just bust through it, take another Advil. And I was like, yeah, it's totally fine. My foot's like that big. And it was heartbreaking. I had to tell my best friend to take over for me because she was understudying for me. And she was also doing the first act piece. So she was lead throughout the entire show. And I felt horrible. And I remember the moment that my foot broke, like, and I just like walked off stage, and I just like ripped my point shoe off. I was like, this sucks. I was like, this sucks so bad. I was like, there goes all my auditions. There goes everything I wanted to do. So I never auditioned for schools. I was heartbroken. I was completely deteriorating in the brain at that point.
Of course, yeah.
Where'd my career go? Right in front of me.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna dance at all if I'm not gonna dance professionally, because I don't know what got into me, to be honest.
A lot. I mean, like, that's totally understandable. And a lot of people do that where it's like, oh, well, I have 104 fever and I'm still going to go on stage. I'm fine.
It's the love of it. And I kind of feel as if the universe put me there with warm regards. I think I needed that mental break to kind of discover that I had interest in other stuff. And I had always had interest in chiropractic work and naturopathic medicine and holistic healing and stuff like that. That was always something that I had practiced growing up. So, I was like, let's just go straight into biology. And I was like, maybe with some neuroscience because I like the brain. And I just hopped right into college with that. And I didn't apply to very many colleges with dance programs that were super advanced or anything. So I started grinding through, and then by my sophomore year, I was falling apart. Like, I'm not dancing enough. I'm not dancing enough. So then I took everything that I could out of Nova and just made it my dance center. So yeah. I've been developing so much as a dancer just through Nova because of all the opportunities that we have here. And also there's this aspect of Nova that Alana Lancy, our dance director, implicates, and it's so intellectually dancing. Like, it's not just physical body, right. There's these classes about why people dance, the history of dance. I've had different Afro-Caribbean classes where I get to experience different cultures, and it's just so cool to re-ground myself in the roots of dance and to discover that there's more than one reason that I'm doing this. It's not just for my physical body, it's for a spiritual level, it's for a cultural level, it's for entertainment. There's so many different things, and I think coming to Nova and not going directly into a dance company, that education aspect of the arts really, really opened my mind to make me like a super versatile dancer, I would say.
Right.
Because it's like I can move my body as much as, and I can do flips and tricks, but to have that moment where you're doing improvisational dance and you're blacked out meditating. Like you're in another place, and and that energy that you're building up inside yourself is being presented onto other people, and that hits different. So I think that aspect of going to Nova and to like getting the education side of dance was like fantastic for me. So, and now I'm like very like stable in stature and who I am and what I want to do, that I'm able to go to a interview and be like, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I want help, and I want you guys to like give me a little bit of love, and then like, here's a position. We like you. We like your optimism. We liked, and that's where I am now.
It's so true. It's like you can't, I agree with the going with the flow thing. You can't really stick a tack somewhere and expect it to go that way with that straight string line. It's going to be like one of those crazy investigative maps that go ping everywhere.
And that's the thing, is that I think being open-minded and, like what I talk about Nova bringing me is that open-mindedness is so influential to any artist, because you have to have those connections. You have to have those people. I mean, it's amazing what one person can do. Like you talk to one person, and then that person talks to another person, and it's just the way, like you said, like that investigative map, it all comes together, and it just grows, and that's what like true community is to me.
And it's crazy what a small world it is in the arts community, that you find all these people. And Alana has been amazing at getting people into Nova, any outside people in there to do a workshop or a class, or to participate with dance works and all this stuff. And it's, I mean, like, just learning from so many people. And I've seen a lot of the people, and I've seen you do improvised dance, and the way that you look when you're in that moment, you're right. It's like you're in a trance. And it's easy to see who's in it and who's not. Who's side-eyeing to make sure everyone's not watching them, and then flip or something. This is kind of all derailing, but I remember me and my roommate Julia Van Sickle, beautiful woman. Her and I both have similar interest in like the natural movement of the body. And we were hosting our this was pre-COVID. We were hosting our auditions for Dance Works last semester. Student Works, 2 semesters. When COVID first started. So we never ended up finishing the pieces, but I remember we like hosted the improvisational portion of the audition, and there was a lot of people we didn't know, and most of the choreographers knew us, so like we weren't ashamed to like say what we needed to say to get these people to move the way we wanted them to move. And I remember like just instructing them and telling them to be their deepest and rawest form of themselves. Close your eyes and just let your body move. And we wanted to see the way that people naturally moved. And like throughout this, it was like a 10-minute session. It was just like a little bit structured. I was like, move as if you're in molasses, and now move as if you're like floating through water, a little bit less dense, So as this thing went on, you just saw all of these beautiful people start to like become themselves. And it was just so unbelievable to see that, because a lot of them held back heavy. They held on to that. And I think a lot of people do. And I think everybody has that inner dancer. And I think that connection between Julia and I and me and, any other dancer that appreciates that is like, that's the art form I'm looking for. Is like, the natural body. I don't know why I derailed to there. No, that totally makes sense, because we have similar practices when you're starting improv. So just theatrical improv training, we say, okay, we need to get comfortable with the space. I want you to walk around like you're a robot, like you're in molasses, like you're in honey, like you're a feather, whatever. And then there's this portion called Move to the Music that I really like. So you just play music, and then everyone just has to kind of dance throughout the space. You just move. And the things that people come up with, and then the people who start following each other randomly, like without noticing, you see this like
such a heavy pattern.
It's amazing. It's just amazing what people are capable of as a group, especially.
And then like I took a group improvisational class a few times. I took this class. It's this technique. It's called Gaga, and it's like, have you heard anything about Gaga?
I've heard of it. I just don't. I've heard Alana talk about it before.
Yeah, and she loves it. And the first time I took the class, I was like, what in the hell is going on? I was like, what is going on? We're like in a circle. It's like, we're like doing some weird stuff. And it was led by this beautiful woman. And it's just like, lay on the floor. And then she's like, get up. And then she's like, slowly make it to the floor and 8 counts. Slowly get up and 8 counts. And it was like structured, but it's like, it's all about the community and like us feeding off of each other's like energies and stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. I was like, this is like, people do this every single day as like a human practice. And I was like, this is awesome. And then it comes to show whenever I'm studying global dance perspectives. I just studied that last semester as one of my courses, and it taught us about all these different, cultures all around the world that do different, the Aborigines and like the Balian dance, like all these different things that were going on. And there's people that do that to survive. Like there are tribes that just come together and dancing is all they know. That's how they summon their gods. That's how they present themselves to gods. Like it doesn't even need to be in a religious aspect. Like,
right.
But just to see like all these different places in the world that are connected through dance and through art and through that improvisational, like that human connection that both of you and I can relate on is just, it's so cool.
It's nuts. Yeah. It's nuts. No, it's
I was like
nuts.
It's not about the eyeliner and it's not about
right.
It's like people can close their eyes and like you can still tell that you're there. Like you can still connect to people.
Right.
So
yeah, no, it's crazy. There's a guy named Augusto Boal who he did experimental improvisation, and he's one of the creators of legislative theater. So he just believed in the fact of community is the most important thing, and that art is political and there's no other way around it, and that he doesn't believe in separation between audience and performer. So he was so huge on getting everyone involved, even if it was scripted. He was like, you're in it. That's it.
Even if there's like a level of nervousness, if it is scripted, it's like you're relating to someone on that, because and that all goes into like the whole theory of us all, the interconnectedness between human beings, how we all rely on one another, whether we like it or not. And I think art is kind of that breakthrough for me right now to deal with all the, everything going on right now, the whole political aspects and all these things that separate people from one another, and the media, the preconceived notions of people, all of those different things that are going on. I think it all roots back to that connectedness, that community. And the closer that you can get to that, the better.
Of course.
I feel like it's just the better you can represent yourself and influence the people around you. And I think that is so important for everybody to get a little taste of that every once in a while. So to come take an improv class, to go watch an improv jam, to go, go see these people, like you
do it.
People. There's so many people that I've met that like, it's like they've never related to anyone, and I'm like, come to a dance class. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, just influence people. I think I'm in a good state of mind, at least with myself, to be able to.
Of course. Yeah,
hey, this could be good for you.
Right.
It's all the same for everyone. Everything's the same for everyone. So
yeah, and until I had gotten to college, I hadn't taken a dance class since I was like 4. So then I went in there and I was like, you know what? I need something physical because I wasn't working in the shop anymore. So I didn't have anything to kind of just let go with. Yeah. So, and going in there, even the entire class talked about it. We're like, oh my gosh, is this group therapy, or are we like, what's going on here? Because you go through the dances and everything, and then everyone at the end, like, you did it. You were so good. You did. And I was like, thank you so much.
But everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah, it's awesome. And what else are you doing? Because you do a couple other things in dance.
Currently I have to start choreographing today. So that's on my list. I am performing in Student Works. I'm performing in Student Works. I've already agreed to be a part of Aviana Palmer's piece, which I'm super excited because I get to work with her before I graduate. We were supposed to work last semester and then COVID. So, now we can finally put things together and I get to work with her. And then I'm also choreographing a piece of my own. Aside of that, I've been getting my daily routine together is literally all I can tell you, because otherwise I'm taking 6 classes, I'm grinding, I have meetings left and right, I'm formulating my resume this week, I have to get my CV together, I'm putting a reel together.
CV.
It's like everything's like really in the air. Like I probably couldn't tell you what day it is or what month it is because I'm
That's
just
understandable.
But I'm taking this ball of stuff and like trying to I gotta graduate soon. I gotta go out into the real world, and that's I think that's mostly what I'm doing is mentally preparing for that, because I don't have anyone leading me through this thing like, hey, take this class, do this, you got to pay this money and then do this. Like I graduate and it's just like open doors.
Right.
So I'm excited, but anything
it's
that's
scary
also gets a little bit terrifying.
Yeah it's definitely scary. I mean, like you're gonna be out in the world with no schedule for classes and you don't have to worry about a test, but you will have a nightmare afterwards that you missed a class. But you didn't.
That happened to me 2 days ago on Martin Luther King Day. I woke up, I was like, I had lab, and then I was like, what month is it?
What would you say actually is your favorite form of warm-up to do? I like to ask that because everyone's got like their own little thing. So
I like when I think about I don't really like a lead warm-up. And then if I were to lead it, and I had one time, it was very yoga based because it's just kind of getting that internal warming. Like the planks and like the slight push-ups and holding positions to get that warm stability, but also stretching, I think is good for dancers. And then also kind of just flowing together, especially if you're in a group of stuff. So either flowing together or everyone's stretching together or everyone's laughing here, make it comical in a way that people can connect so that connection's there when you're on stage trying to put on a performance. And I normally go straight into a yoga and then just whatever I need, because it's a constant movement.
Makes sense.
It's a constant movement. I've utilized yoga for so much with dance because there's some semesters that I'm not dancing very heavy. So my body's but I don't want to just go to the gym and get jacked.
No, you want to feel,
and intrinsically strong is what I want. It's that intrinsic strength. It's that core muscle. It's that being that balance. And that all comes from a lot of yoga practice. So I've been able to relate the two, and that's been my favorite type of warm up. That's one thing I'm looking forward to, is maybe getting my yoga certification to teach. So that in Costa Rica, but I got to get the money for that first. So everyone's moving at the same time. They're doing the same thing. It all comes back to that. It really does come back.
It does. Now I want to ask you a fun question. If I saw you walking across the street and I was like, oh my God, who's that? What can I tell just by looking at you?
A lot of people can tell I'm a dancer. I have gotten that so many times where people are like, you're a dancer or something, right? Because I'm walking, I have my feet slightly turned out, I got my shoulders back, and sometimes, I'll go to the gym and, I'm stretching, but my legs over here, and people are like, she must be a dancer or something, But in the ways that I carry myself, you can definitely, I don't overanalyze it, and I definitely wear the most comfortable clothing all the time, but I don't want it to be bummy, I don't want it to look poopy. So I still try to make myself look nice, but I'm always able to throw a leg up when I need to. So there's when it comes to my wardrobe, you can kind of tell that I'm an active person. And it's not always leggings. They're I wear a lot of weird stuff, and I try to like put like this shirt's velvet because it's like a comfy, cute shirt, but you can also wear it and it's nice, but it's also very comfortable.
Movable, breathable. Yeah.
And movable, breathable. So I always wear a fanny pack because it's the most convenient thing, and some people look down on it, but no, like it's functionally equipped. Okay.
Yes.
It's perfect.
It is.
Perfect. It's
really is
functional. So I'm always prepared. I'm always wearing sneakers. I never wear open-toed shoes.
Yeah.
Sometimes photography, but I think that's because you can't, like, photographers don't really have a look. Like
I can I can actually say that some of them do.
Some of them do.
Some of them really do.
With a beard, this guy was wearing like a cutoff shirt. He had a big belly. This was at Treetops Park. I don't mean to call this man out or anything, but I think it was beautiful. So he was wearing this cutoff shirt and his big hairy belly was hanging out and his beard was just like braids all the way down to his hips. I was like, wow. And I was like, this man, something special. And then he has a camera and I was like, is that what I'm supposed to look like when I'm doing photography? It's like, wow, hold on. It really depends on the perceiver a lot. Yeah. Because people see me as like, a little blonde girl, they don't see you as like an athlete or a runner or a skimboarder. Oh, like I do a lot of longboarding, skimboarding, and like boarding sports, like snowboarding, all that stuff. So I guess that's one hobby that some people don't really catch on to.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll tell you, when I first met you, all I thought was, wow, here's a really like relaxed person. and she's just here to do the thing and be herself, and then she's gonna like go home, Yeah, that's how I saw you. You were just a calm little person in the corner, and then did what you had to do.
When did we first meet?
We first met when I think it was when I was stage managing.
I think so too, for Dance Works or Student Works or something.
Yeah, and everyone was kind of like talking really loud, and then you were over here rolling your neck. And I was like,
rolling around on the floor. Like
you were definitely rolling around on the floor. Yeah. But you were just stretching, and then you would like out of the corner of your eye slightly pay attention to what was going on and then go back to it. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
That's me, like, I need my space. No, I don't really like to congregate in big groups of people. I'll be like in a giant group of people and be like, I gotta stretch. And people look at me funny, and I'm like, my leg is like over here, and people are like, this girl.
You gotta stretch.
I just,
gotta stretch. When they gotta do the work, they do the work, and that's the kind of personality you had. You had the, okay, hold on, I need to stretch. Okay, let me do the work. Okay.
I remember.
Love you all. Bye.
I notes of like you and Dan's. I think it was you and Dan's conversation. And sometimes you would just say the funniest things, and I'd be like, I like this girl. She's hilarious. That is one factor that like I will always link with humorous people, and just have the greatest respect for what you do as well, because you bring that humor to people through your programs, and I just think that's so freaking cool. I think that is so freaking cool. This is like what everyone's been looking for, and it's like you need a good laugh, you need a connection with people, like that's the place to go. It's cool.
Thank you. Well, you were a great person to make a connection with, because you're a good, we talk about connections and energy and things like that, and you have that good energy, and you're easy to connect with, in my opinion. So is there anything else you want to say about the arts that you think people need to know?
I think that it doesn't take monetary value to be an artist or to put art out all the time, depending on the things that you need. But I think people should put monetary value into it. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I've been thinking about recently. I just think that anybody who looks at the arts needs to be open-minded. I think that there can be a lot of skepticism and judgment on a certain type of art, or that's where a lot of art came from too. Like Renaissance stage dance was like, if you didn't do it perfectly, like you were wrong, and then that definition was redefined by our free will. And I think if people can recognize that we do have free will and we do have that inner consciousness that just wants us to move our bodies, that should be allowed. So anybody who views art or anyone who moves their body, I think there needs to be less judgment, and it needs to be very open-minded to any perceiver of the arts. I think that is something that can make the art community more inclusive than it already is. And I think that that's how we can grow that community, is to drop the ego and to drop, any preconceived notions or expectations of art or the person doing the art. And I think that that's like a way for people to open the doors. Because I know, at least with dance, because a lot of people are like, I can't dance. I don't know how. I'm like, yes, you can. You just have to stop judging.
Yeah.
You just have to let go and like really let yourself flow the way that you need to. And I think just letting that guard down and appreciating everything that's around you already can make you a better person, can leave you to less negative judgment. And, I think the arts is like at the center of that. It's like a way for us to physically express our bodies and our voices and our mindsets. And I think that that's something that we should all have the freedom to do, and do it without judgment. So I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that was like, I feel recently judged and that's just what I'm putting out, but you know me, I just flow, whatever's on my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. That's exactly the premise of every time you go into a room. It's, hello, this is a judgment-free artistic creative zone. Welcome. I'm not going to judge you. Try stuff out. I'm going to tell you if you go too far, but you probably never will.
Yeah. It's probably, there's probably no line there. So
yeah. So I agree. I totally agree. Is there anything you want to let people know if you're working on something or anything like that? Because all of the things to find Maria will be linked down below.
Yeah, I just started an Instagram page. I'm still a little bit in debates on whether I want to keep that Instagram page separate from my actual account or just turn my account into a dance page, because that's going to be my whole life in the future anyways, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to drop all of my Instagrams, because I also have a photography Instagram. Yeah. So I have a list of things that check out. In terms of what I'm working on, really just growing an audience and gaining network connections. So
nice.
If there's anybody that that needs a dancer for something or a choreographer for something, it's like I want to try to get involved. I want to try to grow my versatility, and that's really it. I don't have any. The only thing in specific that I have going on is for school right now. So
nice.
That's mostly inclusive to just the Nova Southeastern community. Other than that, there's not much going on.
Yeah.
Other than if you want to do a photo shoot, I'm always up for that. I'm always up for a photo shoot.
Hey.
A little bit of portrait work is my absolute favorite. So
nice. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on here. I really appreciate it. Again, everything involving Maria is going to be linked down below. So please, please, please go check it out and keep up with her journey. I want to say a big thank you to all of you who stuck with us until the end of the video. Please remember that This Is Improv has virtual classes for improv writing, team building, and improv for life. We also have a podcast called This Is Legends of Yesterday, where we talk about histories, mysteries, and ghost stories of Florida. So if you have a story, you can email us at info@thisisimprov.com. I hope you have an amazing Taco Tuesday, you beautiful creatures. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.